I'm Dhruv. I'm the co-founder and CEO of a company called Aftersell, which was acquired by Rokt in February 2024. And now I lead product development across both the Aftersell and Rokt businesses. Hand it over to Cael.
Yeah, hi. I'm Cael Schwartz, and I'm the head of growth at Mugsy, which is a men's apparel business.
I'm Ronak Patel, SVP Marketing at Moonbrew, a sleep supplement brand. I think when we started with Aftersell, in the first few months, we were approaching the $500,000 mark in incremental revenue, being a growing DTC e-commerce brand. And the early use case for Aftersell for us was to get rid of inventory that wasn't selling at heavy discounts. And it was probably the wrong way to use the platform once I kind of realized that you don't want to keep giving product that's not selling to customers at a discount. Hurts retention and churn rates later on. We pivoted from the first few months averaging around $2 per visitor on this experience to right now hovering at the $7 mark. And a lot of it came from their platform allows you to test that offer pretty much every week or two. We were changing that offer, the language behind it, the products that we were after selling, which got to the point where our product team is working on launching 6 ancillary products related to sleep over the next few months, just to find ways to improve that bottom line number once you acquire the customer. And it's been a great incrementality revenue tool and has helped our bottom line a lot as well.
So you've gone from, trying to get rid of excess inventory to now thinking about post-purchase, like AOV optimization and driving more incremental revenue. Has that been the same journey for you, Cael, or what has been the primary goal on Mugsy for post-purchase upselling?
Yeah, I think for us, it's more so been about just like monetizing that real estate of our website. I've worked in the space for, almost 10 years, and back in the early days, you wouldn't even think to put anything on the checkout or post-purchase or thank you page or anywhere else. And now it's like every inch of that is an opportunity to kind of give your customer more. And for us, it's literally all about that. It's about offering products that maybe they didn't get to see on their website journey, stuff that is separate to our hero product. We sell a pair of stretchy jeans. That's like 90% of our sales are stretchy jeans, but we also sell shirts, bathing suits, hats. And it's such a good place to showcase our other products in that area. Also, just people are impulsive, and you can give them that opportunity to be impulsive with Aftersell and in your checkout and your thank you page. So it's great, super helpful for us.
A lot of people would probably be wondering, like, how do you think about the trade-off from a consumer experience standpoint and upselling as you're going through the checkout? Things like cart conversion rate drops or potential friction in that checkout process. How do you guys think about that in terms of what the revenue is worth to you? Or do you even think that there is friction that's being added as you're going through the checkout?
I don't think we've seen any friction. I think the journey that the customer gets the after-sale experiences, after you've already acquired them, they've made that initial purchase. So it doesn't impact our customer acquisition costs, and the ability to sell them for us other aspects of the sleep routine, I think, has been a great ability to increase AOV. And an experience that just looking at reviews and all that, customers really enjoy that experience. I think a way we've mitigated that risk of having someone buy a ancillary product or a sub-product at the customer acquisition cost of our core product, we don't sell our ancillary products anywhere else on the website. You can only get them on Aftersell post-purchase. And that allows our product team to do 2,000 unit runs for very small ancillary items, see what happens, see what the LTV on those cohorts are, and if it is something we might implement in the future. But I don't think, talking to our customers, looking at reviews, no one's been upset about getting hit with more sleep adjacent products after they've already converted.
Yeah, I think people like it. At the end of the day, like our website, even probably Moonbrew's website, it can be like overwhelming. Like there's a lot of crap. Not to say that our product's crap, but there's just a lot of stuff on your site, right? So when the customer finally picks something that they wanted and they like, they've gone through kind of like a headache of a journey. And then to just have like a couple nice curated options for them is kind of like refreshing and relaxing, because you do get decision paralysis like when you're shopping on an e-commerce store, and then to go through that journey and just to be like, hey, here's like 3 or 4 of our favorite things, or things we think you'd like, or like you said, like limited edition. It's like, oh, cool, like I'll add that too. So no, I think it's kind of like a net positive for the journey.
what were the primary drivers going from $2 to $7 on Moonbrew?
Yeah, for us, in the early days, it was just selling our core product again at a discount to improve the AOV. And I think consumers are smart, being like, if they're just having me buy another 30 serving of Moonbrew at a discounted price, either this flavor isn't that great or they just don't want more of a product that they haven't tried yet. I think really understanding your customers, and for us, their sleep routine, their sleep journey, what are they looking for? And being a powdered supplement, the ability to make Moonbrew with a frother or have a specific mug. A lot of our customers, 80% of them are females aged 35 to 65. So really knowing what they want, satin sleep masks or whatever it might be. Gua sha is something that we're like testing. Really just like pitching it to them as this is an exclusive offer. The timer from the product lens that you put, like this goes away in 5 minutes, really helped kind of drive that conversion rate, which then improved our value per customer from 2 to 7. Our conversions now, I think originally was like 3 to 4% on each offer. It's hovering at 9 to 10%. So just the little tweaks that Aftersell also implements our feedback to improve that process has been a big win.
We're like a historically like anti-discount company. Like we hate discounting. We really only discount during like Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So I unfortunately don't have the lever to pull where I can be like, hey, here's 10% off this product if you're going to get it last minute here in the checkout experience. But for us, it's a really, really good opportunity to showcase more of our products, being like a historically kind of like one trick pony of selling like one hero product. We're able to be like, hey, we also sell shirts, we also sell shorts, bathing suits, hats, belts, and it also helps us kind of like sell those lower price point items when you're buying a pair of $120 jeans. So yeah, for us, it's just like, how can we sort of like, the goal's always been, how can we kind of like fill our customer's closet with all things Mugsy? And we really didn't have a way to do that because like from a customer acquisition perspective, like it didn't make sense. It still doesn't make sense for us to like run ads to our belts. Like it just, the cost of acquiring the customer is too high. But if we can put the belts in the post-purchase checkout experience, you know, it's an AOV lift, it's an accessory that goes along with your pants, it's giving them more of the brand. And so, yeah, it's just been a way for customers to get more items from us without having to like see a paid ad for it.
And I think the early days of Aftersell made it a bit more tedious to run tests very periodically, where we'd probably keep the same funnel on for a month and just see what would happen. But we're now changing that, if not every few days, weekly, once we get that stat sig. And a recent learning we got is you get the same conversion and revenue per visitor if we discounted a product 20% versus 15%. So you're able to then realize that customers are still converting at 15%. You save 5% bottom line, and finding those quick learnings every week or two, it's very easy to just change a test up and keep your historical data there to compare it to, which has been a big win for us. One of the bigger unlocks we just had was the swing out cart, where you have that carousel of products you can acquire that are all less than $15 is the target we kind of aim for. And the way we built that cart is for non-subscriptions, one-time purchases, it's a $48 product, $60 to get free shipping. The first item you see as a gift to add or an ancillary product to buy is a mug that's $12. That puts you at $60. You get free shipping. So being able to, we asked for that request, I think, on a Thursday, and by Monday it was already live by the Aftersell team to implement and run with. So I think just being in the spirit of quickly testing and finding new ways to improve AOV, also without impacting conversion, has been a big win on the pre-checkout and the cart experience as well.
Pre-transaction, it's about like getting people to jump on those like lower price point products, so that will complement whatever they're buying, which is typically a pair of pants. So like getting a belt, getting a shirt, getting something that they probably wouldn't have found on their own. And then post-transaction, we've been able to, like with Aftersell, been able to test like basically offering different colors of whatever they're buying. So it's like, okay, if you got, you know, a classic pair of blue jeans, here's a pair of red jeans, or here's a pair of like olive green jeans, and they'll complement you really well. We've been able to test which colors are performing best for the colors they're buying. So it's like we've got all this data on, you know, if you're a blue jeans buyer, you're actually more likely to buy a pair of whitewash than you are to buy a pair of olive jeans. And so we've been able to play with that and really optimize the post-purchase experience as well.
It's awesome.
Monetize this checkout experience like is such a new thing. So kind of like every time you hear about something, you kind of get like the ick about it. And that was the same thing with like the post-purchase like upsells of Rock Thanks, because it's like, oh, we're really gonna like everyone thinks like spam our customer with ads, but at the end of the day, you're not doing that. Your customer's already purchased. The ad that's going to pop up is going to be like applicable to them. It's an opportunity. They're already in buy mode, so they're shopping, they're looking for things. So you're actually, there's an argument to be made, and I think it's true that you're giving them, you know, more stuff to look at, more stuff they like, another experience to work through. So for us, it's been great. I mean, at the end of the day, like you either can monetize that space or you can't, and it's up to you. But for us, it's an extra, you know, few thousands of dollars a month that just directly hit the bottom line, which has been huge for us.
Yeah, and I assume that's also been really important in the kind of macroeconomic environment that we've been in. You know, if you get a $10,000 check every month in net profit, how does that, you know, did that actually, I've always been curious as I've talked to brands, like did that actually make an impact on your ability to stay competitive and relevant in the pretty turbulent time from a macroeconomic standpoint for Moonbrew, for Mugsy?
I'd say we haven't utilized it at scale where it's made a major impact to stay competitive. But what I do think the mitigating risks that I was really looking into is those cohorts that get that experience, like will they be annoyed by it and then not come back for that second or third purchase? And LTV for those cohorts is the same, if not better. So I can't attribute it being like if they saw that monetization experience, they got annoyed and they didn't want to come back. That I can say like isn't true. So it hasn't hurt the brand in a way that people might assume it would do if you're showing them additional offers.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, for us, it's like as like a marketer and someone who manages a marketing P&L, it's like the Rokt kind of revenue that we're able to drive is like now become kind of like our play money in a way, like because it's like you said, it is a turbulent time. It feels like it always is in e-com, but you're kind of hesitant to test new stuff right now. You don't want to like, you know, spend the extra 10, 20K on Reddit or YouTube ads or whatever. And now it's like, well, let's just use our Rokt revenue to continue testing new channels that we think we could unlock something. So that's kind of how we're like theorizing it and utilizing it, where it's like, okay, what we generate from Rokt is now, it's our play money for testing new channels and trying new things. So we don't stop doing that because in this space, you have to be testing new stuff. Otherwise, you might miss out.
You guys are both going to start trying to be on the other side of that network to start showing up on the confirmation page of other brands. And what I think is fascinating is there's not a lot of performance marketing channels out there. You know, you've got Meta, Google. Recently, we've seen App11 pop up. And so we've been on this journey to try and build a new performance marketing channel. We power 7 billion transactions a year, and we can show up on the confirmation page of those transactions for D2C brands. What are you most excited about in that? Is that something that you think will work? Is it something that you're excited to test? Like, what goes through your head when you make a decision to try out a new channel like that?
I think as I was having conversations with your team, I think it's the same approach we took when App11 emerged, and our co-founder and CEO is always like, what about Pinterest? What about Snapchat? Like, is there any momentum there? And I think in the spirit, like, you kind of have to just test, otherwise you'll never know. And as long as you keep your CAC or CPA thresholds at a point that makes sense for the business, it doesn't hurt. And I think that's what's exciting about this is it's one of the first platforms that, with, I think, powered by Aftersell's team and Rokt, they have attribution and the analytics to be able to measure that and see what impact that we're actually driving from the money we're spending there.
I think it's going to work. Like, I've seen enough, like, with our kind of success on Rokt that it makes tons of sense for us to show up on someone's thank you page the same way, especially if they're, like, brand aligned. I just imagine, like, you know, if you're shopping for Moonbrew, not a competitor shows up, but, like, something logical shows up that would make sense if you're someone who needs sleep health, whether it could be like, I don't know, a pair of pajamas, like a really comfy pair of pajamas. Like, that person's already in a shopping mindset for stuff that's going to help them sleep. Like, why wouldn't they buy a pair of pajamas? So, and for us, it could be, you know, a pair of shoes or flip-flops or something along those lines. And yeah, just complementary to the brand. I think it's like going to be massive for you guys and for a lot of brands.
Yeah, it's probably the product I'm most excited about is just, I think if we can create a new performance channel and diversify spend for brands, I think it's probably the most exciting thing we could do.